for video number 3 in a series of 30 videos that I'll be doing over the course of the next 30 days. And today I want to talk about breakfast and one of the things that I really like eating for breakfast, and this is a new recipe and I wanted to share it with you. I get asked a lot by clients, prospective clients, friends, people that I meet, and they say, what do you eat for breakfast? And this is one of those things. And this is a really simple recipe that takes, 5 minutes to put together, and you can actually put it together in a large quantity so that you have it ready for breakfast without having to go through this preparation, which really takes, as you can see, like a minute or 2 minutes. And this is a really great superfood breakfast. Superfoods are foods that are really, really potent, big bang for your buck, nutritional powerhouse foods, and it benefits all of us to get as many of these foods in to our bodies as often as we can, and in really creative ways. So you'll see that one of the ingredients that I'm using in today's recipe, I'm actually going to use in another recipe in another video later on in this series in a completely different application, so you can see how versatile some of these foods are. And the first ingredient that I want to share with you is chia seeds. Chia seeds, if you're a child of the 80s, then you'll remember chia as in the Chia Pet, right? And this is actually the same seed. If you happen to have Chia Pets lying around, God help you if you do. But if you do, don't eat those seeds. They're not food grade and they're most definitely not organic. So chia seeds are our first superfood, and chia seeds have been around for thousands and thousands of years, cultivated by the Aztecs and the Mayas, and was really considered both a staple food and a sacred food for them. Absolutely fantastic food that's loaded with protein, high in omega-3 fatty acids, excellent source of calcium. It's got more calcium than 2% milk. It's got more fiber than bran flakes. Just 2 tablespoons of this, which is actually what we're going to use, has 7 grams of fiber and 4 grams of protein. So really, really, really great food. And we're going to start by just adding 2 tablespoons of them into a breakfast bowl. Again, this recipe is for 1 serving, but you can multiply it out and the ratios stay the same for making a large batch. So I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of chia seeds and just drop them into the bowl and move on to the next ingredient, which is buckwheat. And buckwheat, contrary to its name, is not actually part of the wheat family. It is more closely related to rhubarb. It is not wheat at all, and it is gluten-free grain, which is great. I'm on a gluten-free diet, and this is one of my staples. Again, this is a grain that is, it's actually not a grain. This is a food that's, again, really, really high in protein. I think it's like 18% protein, rich in iron and zinc and selenium. If you're following a gluten-free diet and you happen to enjoy gluten-free beer, this is the grain this is what's used to make gluten-free beer. Also makes really good, dark, strong honey. So I'm going to add about a tablespoon, maybe like a heaping tablespoon of raw buckwheat groats. These add the crunch to this cereal, so if you happen to like a little bit more crunch, then add a little bit more buckwheat. The third superfood ingredient that I'm going to add is hemp seeds. I'm going to add about a tablespoon, a little bit less. You can add more if you like. Again, hemp seeds, superfood, really high in protein. It's about 33% protein, and 3 tablespoons of this has like 11 grams of protein. So you can see that it's a really good bang for your buck. Again, it's got really great omega-3 profile, and it is, like the chia seed, a complete protein. So that's really the base of this cereal. You can then modify it by adding different fruits or nuts and things like that. Today I'm going to do like an apple cinnamon version. I really like this. So I have diced up about a tablespoon and a half of dried unsulfured apple rings, and you can get these little guys at your natural food store. I like these a lot. So I'm just going to add those in. I'm not really adding too much sweetness to this cereal. This is the sweetness that you're going to be getting is really from the dried apples, and that's really enough. I really encourage clients to move away from the sweet breakfast model and try to embrace more savory meals first thing in the morning. Because as Americans, we are pretty addicted to our sweet breakfasts. If you do want a little bit of extra sweetness, which sometimes I feel like having, I like to add, this is granulated maple sugar. So this is basically 100% maple syrup that's been dehydrated and granulated. And I have to just, it's a little rock hard, so I have to shake it up a little bit. And this has a little shaker. This is actually a little harder to find. I sort of bought this when I came across it in a store, but you can order it online. You can use other sugars. You really don't need it, but again, if you really do like a little bit of a sweeter breakfast, then this is a really great alternative. And you don't need that much, like a little shake, maybe like a quarter teaspoon or less is fine. And then lastly, I like to add cinnamon. This is the apple cinnamon bit, and I just then give that a quick stir to incorporate all of those ingredients. If you wanted to add slivered almonds or pecans or raisins even, now would be a good time to do that. And then lastly, I'm going to add in my liquid. In this case, this is almond milk. You can use any kind of milk that you like. You can even use coconut water or apple juice or something like that, and really experiment and play around with it. What's interesting about this breakfast cereal is that it can become either thin or really thick like a porridge, depending on how much liquid that you use. The chia seeds are going to absorb a lot of moisture, and they're going to gel up a little bit. Chia seeds actually hold something like 12 times their weight in water. So if you find after letting it sit for a few minutes, which is how much you're going to have to let it sit so that it can gel up, but if you find after you're letting it sit that it's too thick or too, then you can add a little bit more liquid to thin it out. But I usually add about, half a cup, 3/4 of a cup, and I'll stir that around and let it sit. And again, when you first pour it in, it's going to be really loose and thick. Really loose and thin. And then when you're finished, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, if I can do this right. So it becomes, this is one I made earlier, and it becomes really thick. And I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little bit like alien food.